Welcome to the pilot episode of our new show. My name is Matt. Yeah, okay.
You were supposed to introduce everybody.
Oh,
But that's okay.
I'm okay. Well, that's okay. That's why this is a pilot, so we can work through these things.
Right.
So, my name is Matt, and to the left, to the right of me,
To the left, right.
right, to the right of me is Dan.
Front, to the back. Hey.
Welcome. To the right of him is Opie.
Hey, what's up?
And then the two guys at the bottom are James on the left and Dave on the right.
That would be me.
And I've got some video, some audio playing somewhere, and I don't know where it is. My name is Matt.
Well, just go ahead and leave it going.
Okay. Well, so we wanted to keep the momentum rolling, so we had a Game of Thrones show that we did, a live after show, and we had a lot of fun doing that, and we got some good response from that. We wanted to keep it rolling. We were thinking about what show could we do next, and we decided why limit ourselves. Let's just do a show about whatever we want to talk about. So we decided to put this thing together. We're going to be talking about all kinds of games and movies and comics and TV and
whatever we hit.
Yeah, just whatever else we're doing, whatever we're doing that week. It might all be games one week. It might all be whatever. You never know with us. It might be a story about James tracking down his lost iPad. You never know.
Ooh, yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, I'd like to hear about that a little more.
Yeah,
Although, did you contact the law enforcement?
So tell us. Let's start everything with that because
Lewis says
that's
he hears someone's audio backfeed.
Yeah, and I don't know where that's coming from.
I'm guessing it's probably Matt for not setting something up right.
I'm muted.
Yeah, me too. I've got the stream muted.
Got it. Fixed it.
There you go, guys. Technical
Boom.
difficulty. This is why it's done on the fly.
This is what happens.
We just
live.
shoot from the hip, folks.
Yeah, we do. We ain't scared.
Thanks, Lewis.
Yeah, so James, tell us about. I want to start with that whole thing because that, like I said, that's a real Magnum PI moment. You want to tell us what happened?
Sure. So about 3 weeks ago, we went to a little local steakhouse, Texas Roadhouse, and my son left his iPad in the booth. So we got home and realized it wasn't there. So we called him and was like, "Hey, anybody pick that up?" And they're like, "No." We're like, "Okay, that's a little shady, but
Right.
okay." So we used the Lost My iPad app where you can track it down. Once it connects to Wi-Fi, it'll ping you a location map. So 3 weeks go by, nothing. And then yesterday, my wife sends me an email and she's like, "Hey, I got an email alert." So she forwarded it to me and it showed like a little map with a pin on the location. So I'm like, "Oh yeah." So I go to the police department and file a report, and they're kind of like looking at my phone where I got like the map and the emails and everything, and this guy's probably like in his 60s, this police officer, and he's like,
Using your
"Where's the
devices.
clicker?"
Yeah.
he's like, "So your tablet called you and told you?" I'm like, "No."
Get off my lawn.
I'm like, it's an app, and it just once it reconnects to an internet source like Wi-Fi, then it will ping you its location so that you can find it. He's like, "Oh, okay." So, but he didn't really want to like go knocking on doors. It seemed like because it gives you a pretty general it was on a kind of not a real busy road, but there was like a pin, and there's like 3 or 4 driveways right around there, so it could have been any one of those. So I kind of left there a little discouraged, and then I thought, I'm just going to ride out there and take a look at the road and the houses and just see what's going on. So I get out there, and there's just like a couple houses, and I get an idea of taking pictures of the cars that are in the driveways.
This is where he goes straight up Magnum PI.
Yeah.
It locks it down right here.
I talk about a true detective.
I play dumb tourist, and I like pull up in the driveways, and I like take out my phone and I take pictures of all the cars, and there's probably about 6 or 8 total. And then
I love that you just stop. You just pull up in each driveway and get out and start taking pictures of cars.
pretty much. And it's a real inconspicuous car too. It's like a full-size Tundra, so like it's really easy to not see.
Right. Very conspicuous.
So then later this evening, I drive to Texas Roadhouse at about 5 o'clock, right when the dinner starts happening, and I drive around the parking lot thinking, okay, I might be able to find, if I can match up a car at home to, a car in the parking lot, and that's pretty much done deal. Like that's pretty much the guy who took it or the girl.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think I was going to find anything, but I drive over there, and sure enough, there's like this Buick that I'd taken a picture of with like bungee cords holding the hood down.
Nice.
It's like it just screams busboy, like there's like the grills like all broken.
Well, there goes our
out.
busboy demographic. Thanks.
So I'm like, okay, now what do I do? I've tracked this guy down, and
I think don't contact the store, contact the cops.
Yeah,
Say,
yeah,
these
yeah.
are the pictures that I got.
Yep.
The license plate matches. This is from the area that it pinged from. I think this is the person that has my iPad. Especially if you see the person with an iPad and they have bungees holding their hood down, they couldn't get the iPad. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
So I went
that's
into the restaurant and I talked with the manager.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. And I pretty much I brought her outside. I was like, "Can you come out here for a second?" I laid out all the evidence, showed her my phone. She was like a girl about my age. She knew all about the app and stuff, and actually had remembered me calling 3 weeks earlier to ask about it. So I laid out all the evidence, and she was just like floored. She was like, "Okay."
She's like, "Oh
wow.
crap, you caught me."
No, well, she was like, well, it's kind of a bummer that we have somebody of such low integrity working for us here. And I'm like, yeah, that does suck. So she said that she doesn't know who owns that car, but she's going to she was going to play spy tonight and figure out whose car that was, and contact her district manager and find out if they need to call the police. Since they, now it's kind of like there was a crime committed at their place. They really don't want to be liable, so they'd rather just probably can the person and, try and get my iPad back instead of, you know what I mean? So I'm supposed to hear tomorrow from the district manager.
The one thing I worry about is that she was the one that actually has the iPad, and she just told you, she's like, we're totally don't worry, I'll call district. It's totally fine.
That's what
I'll call you tomorrow, and they're going to be
and
like,
she's flushing your
sorry,
iPad
here's a
in the
$10
bathroom.
gift.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Or like, what if she's like, that's like her best friend, that took it. She's like, oh no, I don't know, but we'll find it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So tomorrow I'm going to call the police first thing and give them the new information.
Nice.
And hopefully they can go to the restaurant tomorrow and kind of, beat some people up. I don't know what they do, but,
Because if they don't,
smack
you
them
will.
around. That's right, yeah.
You and Opie will go crack some skulls, right?
Just go in with their Billy comes just beating every employee. It's like, you're resisting arrest. You're resisting arrest.
Did you take this iPad? How about now?
So I was playing Magnum PI today.
Yeah, you were.
It was pretty fun.
Today, tracking out iPads. Tomorrow, you'll have a mustache and a Ferrari.
Hey, you leave Tom Selleck alone. That's a handsome devil.
He really is.
He's still a good-looking guy.
He aged well.
Yeah, and on a side note, all of Magnum PI is on Netflix.
There you go.
Which Opie says doesn't hold up.
Does it really not? They did an episode on FilmSack I listened to this week where they were watching an episode of Magnum PI because Brian Ibbett is going to Japan, so they watched an episode dealing with ninjas and samurai all together, and they were laughing all the way through, but they were just like, yeah, Magnum PI is awesome.
No, I didn't say Magnum PI doesn't hold up because I never watched Magnum PI. I'm saying the A-Team didn't hold up. And there's no way that Magnum PI is better than the A-Team.
Well,
I like Magnum PI. I've watched it recently.
Yeah, Magnum PI is good, but I agree. I loved the 18 more when I was a kid, and I like Magnum PI. So, anyways,
Magnum.
Enough about our Netflix and old.
So that's that is the Magnum PI podcast. We thank you for watching.
That's all. We just all come on with fake mustaches and Hawaiian shirts, and we all just sit here and we just talk about Magnum PI.
You just gave me a great idea for Halloween, Dan.
Awesome.
All right, so
so
we're going to talk about some other stuff. We're about a week or two late on this, and we did a couple of live commentaries, but we wanted to kick this whole show off with talking about some E3. Ended a week or two ago, but this was a really good one. There was a lot of good stuff shown, and there was some stuff that wasn't all that great. So, I don't know, guys. I mean, we're just going to talk about some of the things that we like the best, because I know what I like the best. it's this little indie game called Uncharted. Where
Although
totally
you're the only one that said that Xbox One, which I don't like to put the moniker on it anymore. We've gotten past those points of, oh, you did better, whatever. Play what you want to play on whatever system you want to. But you like the Xbox One more, but you want to play the Uncharted over on the PS3 or PS4. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought Microsoft had more cool stuff to show, but then Uncharted is Uncharted. So, and it's my favorite. All three of them is my favorite my favorite line of video games ever.
Right.
Although Batman kind of is in the top running too. But yeah, I mean, I was totally pumped for Uncharted, and pretty much everything Microsoft showed. I was all in on that, even though none of us really are console gamers. I mean, we're all PC gamers. As anybody who's ever watched this on Twitch or any of our silly videos on,
we dabble.
Yeah,
we dabble, or you guys dabble. I have the old stuff, so.
Yeah, I dabble. I've been doing the Arkham Knight on PS4 lately, and we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah,
but,
the most I've done is maybe Call of Duty with some buddies from back home.
Skyrim. That was my last venture.
Yeah, Skyrim I did on PC as well. I didn't even play it on console. I think the last game I bought was probably Destiny and the latest Call of Duty every year that was coming out just to play with some buddies like before. So that was the only thing.
And to tell you the truth, me and James are probably only sports players in the Go group here, so those are totally console games.
What's a sport?
You play some water polo.
They're really
EA's
big
water polo.
Opie likes to play virtual soccer or Quidditch or whatever it's called. I'm not real sure.
It's some fake sport played at Hogwarts. We don't know. We're not sure.
EA has yet to have a license on Quidditch. Okay.
Yes, license Quidditch 2015. Nice. So I actually thought a couple things. Number one, I think Xbox did a great press conference, better than they've done before. They had a lot of good stuff. They're getting Tomb Raider first. They showed Gears. They showed a few other things. I think they kind of hit the middle of there with the HoloLens, and everybody got freaked out about that, but that has nothing to do with the Xbox, at least not right now.
Well, I thought it was exclusive to Xbox.
What, Tomb Raider?
No, HoloLens.
No, the HoloLens.
No. HoloLens is a Microsoft product.
Yeah,
it's not dealing with the Xbox. It'll probably be used with the Xbox later on, but it doesn't have anything to do with gaming right now. The HoloLens was its own project for Microsoft going with Windows 10. So they kind of showed that in the middle. Didn't really have anything to do with Xbox, but that was cool that they showed that because that was freaking awesome and kind of blew my mind that something that cool would be out. So I thought they did a better press conference than they'd done in a long time. Nintendo, I couldn't even watch. I think they're so far gone from everybody
from reality
that they just live in their own Nintendo world, and they bring out one new game thinking the entire world's going to flip out about Star Fox, and not saying Star Fox isn't bad. Star Fox is cool.
And then the Nintendo tries to slide Metroid under the rug on everyone. Everybody's anticipating a big Metroid title finally, and then they slide this PSP
Yes.
I'm sorry, not PSP, excuse me, 3DS game.
Right.
It's still getting backlash. I still see hate tweets about people's outraged at that.
There are actually
Metroid.
petitions. There is actually petitions out there to get people or to have Nintendo not make it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's their problem. They do whatever they want. But Nintendo lives in their own world. They weren't even there. They just had a video conference.
Well, they've done that for a while.
They don't want to deal with all that crap there. The cool thing was the Mario game towards the end that you could build the old school levels and
let me tell you something about that.
Out for everybody to play on.
That's Super Mario Maker. That thing is legit. They did do the Nintendo Video Game Championship, the 25th anniversary. They had the contest the day before, and a bunch of people played these different Nintendo games, and the final round was two guys going head to head playing Mario Maker. That was a genius marketing move because they marketed it as, hey, look at this awesome competition we're having, and the final thing is just so happens to be them playing the newest game that we have coming out. Look how awesome it is. But that thing is awesome. It's kind of like Little Big Planet with Mario. Where users can create their own levels and then you can download and play them.
Yeah.
But the levels they were playing were insane. I mean, I had a blast watching that. So that is the one thing coming out of Nintendo's whole thing that I'm excited about.
Okay, so they had one thing. I couldn't even finish their press conference. So go ahead, Opie.
I was just going to say, I just think Nintendo has lost the 30-something demographic. I mean, they had such a huge grip on us growing up with the NES and the Super Nintendo and then the 64, but I think they lost us with the Wii. And then kind of went down here from there. I mean, you start your press conference off by not being there, and it looks like a bad Phil Collins video because you got puppets running around.
Although we don't have anything against Phil Collins.
No, nothing at all.
Puppets, really.
The Confusion is probably one of the best music videos ever made.
It is a pretty good music video, but that's what it reminded me of because it was that Muppet sort of thing. But anyway, and I think Dan said it that when they went back to showing how they made the Super Mario Maker, they just went back to the ancient drawings of the first Mario and we built all this.
Right. I don't need a story when you're doing StarCraft about Miyamoto and how a long time ago when I was a child I thought about flying jets and therefore I created Star Fox. It's like, okay, we get it. You're a genius game maker. We got that. We're okay with that. And you work for Nintendo, super awesome. But you guys are living in your own. Now, not saying that Nintendo's bad, because Nintendo makes good games and their own properties. Their first-party games are always really, really good, but that's all they have, and that's all they live on. And they don't care about third-party, it seems like, at all. They just want to live in their own little world. So it was kind of just disappointing. I was hoping to see some stuff on Zelda. They did some portable Zelda stuff, I think.
Yeah, but it's not.
Kind of like Four Swords.
It's not the Zelda that anybody wants, really.
No, everybody wants a Wii U HD Zelda, and that most likely will not be shown until E3 next year. So is my guess. The other one, of course, of the big three, Sony, their press conference. And you guys can cut me off at any time. I'm just kind of going through these.
So anyway, what I thought was...
They opened with Last Guardian, which, hey, look, they're showing gameplay of it. And guess what? It's not out till next year because it hasn't been delayed long enough.
And it still kind of looks like an advanced PS2 game.
Yeah. I don't know. Shadow of the Colossus looks gorgeous, was cool. The other one, Ico, I think was... Ico looked cool. Yeah. Not my kind of game style. The puzzle.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
What?
Yes, Horizon.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Very good show.
Yeah.
They had some good showing with some new games that they're coming out with, but the one that got me was the remake for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII, which I have a feeling that little trailer was all that they have.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they haven't even started it yet.
They actually started last year. Okay. Nomura was put on the project last year, so they've been working on a little under a year now. But I know that there's a chance that they can ruin it, but it doesn't matter because that game was awesome when I was a kid or when I was a teenager. That's my all-time favorite game. I still have that. So whatever they do now, that's fine. If it doesn't work, I still have the old one that I love and think is amazing. There's a lot of hate on the internet right now anyways. Everybody's like, oh, they're going to ruin it. Oh, it's stupid. Oh, they're blah, blah. It's like, give it time. It's not even out yet. No, you have the anonymity of the internet. Everyone's like, totally fake. I knew they were going to do it. So I watched that 4-hour, because this is how excited I am. I watched a 4-hour video on people reacting to the announcement of Final Fantasy VII.
Are you serious?
Wow.
There's 4 hours of people.
Yes.
I mean,
and first of all, most of the people they have in that video are kids who don't even know Final Fantasy. I don't know why they're having this. I think they're just jumping on the bandwagon. But then you had the videos that had the douchebag friends like, yeah, I knew it was coming out. Yeah, whatever, dude. It's Final
Totally
Fantasy.
knew it.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's cool. Yeah, that doesn't even.
No,
look
I was
good.
saying that I expected the backwards compatibility at some point for the Xbox One.
Oh, yeah.
Totally
Yes. That's awesome that they announced that kind of freaked the audience out. So with them announcing those things, PlayStation announcing Shenmue, announcing Final Fantasy, a meme that has been like Half-Life 3, everybody talks about it, never going to happen. Xbox doing backwards compatibility. There was a lot of big things that hit surprise moments, so I think that's why a lot of people thought this was one of the better E3s of late. Anyways, so I don't know. I was impressed by all of them. I thought they all did good jobs with different stuff.
Yeah, when they announced the backwards compatibility for the 360, and we're actually showing a video of that right now. I mean, I was like, oh, it's about time. I mean, why couldn't they have done this sooner? The only drawback is that you know, so they're only doing a few titles at a time, and it's going to take a while. And if you can actually go online and see the first set of games that they're going to make backwards compatible, and it seems like they're releasing them. They're doing them in order that they came out for the 360 originally. Like shoot, I can't remember, but it's like, you know, that's great, and you can actually vote on which ones you want. But I mean, how long is it really going to take to get all? If they're maybe doing like 25 or 20 games.
Well, and plus they still have to get permission from
Yeah,
the
from
third-party
the-
creators to be able to put those games up in the first place. Plus, you have to already own it. It's a download is what it essentially is.
Right.
You put your old disc in, or it's connected to your profile in some way, and they see that, and then it downloads to your system, and it's, you know, it's just an emulator.
Well, yeah, I was wondering, like, how are they gonna just keep me from going to Redbox or wherever, and just, but you have to have the disc in every time you play it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well that makes sense.
Which is
But is it
interesting
still
because there was
saved to
the
hard drive?
What?
The game is, yes.
The game is actually on the hard drive.
It's
right, I
actually
have
an
the disc
emulated
in.
game, but you have to have the disc in.
The disc is like
for
a
it to
key,
know.
basically.
Yeah, which is weird because a long time ago they said that would be, you know, when Xbox first came out, no, we're going to be always online and be able to play your games. It has to have the disc in there and it has to connect to the internet so it recognizes that you can play the game. I'm just like, okay, that was all coming out for the Xbox One. Everybody blew up about it, but now you do backwards compatibility, and now it's okay. It's weird how they're doing that and how they had that technology back then, but then they backed off of it when the Xbox One was coming out. It's kind of goofy. I don't know. But, yes, you have to have the game in to be able to play the game if it's so. But, yeah. I felt bad for Square Enix because everybody showed all their games, and then they had a press conference.
Right.
Final Fantasy VII, Hitman,
Yeah.
Deus Ex, Tomb Raider, all shown before it even got to their presser, so I felt terrible for those guys. Because everybody's like, we saw it. Yeah, I've been there. And then Fallout 4 looked really good. Bethesda had a really good press conference. And I actually thought, out of all the press conferences, I really liked Ubisoft's press conference more than anybody. I used to hate on Ubisoft, but
yeah, you did. Oh gosh,
They-
I go back to those.
Rainbow Six, the new Ghost Recon,
The Division.
the Division,
Jeez.
just
Oh.
every game they were rolling up there was just like, it's beautiful, and I want to play that right now. And they're all coming out a long time from now.
Right. Yeah, I think the Division for me and was it Ghost Recon Wildlands?
Yeah, the Wilds.
Yep. The big open world Ghost Recon where you can basically just what about total Opie moment where I just switch gears? What about Hitman?
Ooh,
It looked kind of cool. It looked a lot better. I mean, it was really pretty. If that was gameplay, did
Well,
they show any gameplay?
I didn't see any gameplay.
I
I
don't
didn't
think
see any game. I
I
saw
don't think so
super
either. Was a
Uber
video, but the
trailer.
idea of what they're doing,
right what they're
is
doing
really
with
interesting.
it. Basically, it's an open world. I don't even know that
Yeah.
there's
that's
one
right.
big storyline.
You go
just-
on missions.
Yeah,
now?
you just go on
Okay, yeah.
missions. But the
Yeah.
great thing
Yeah.
is, they say, and if I don't know how long they'll keep this up, but they say you buy the game one time, $60. That's all you'll pay. And they're going to continually release content, new missions, and things like that.
Yeah.
And some of your targets will only be there for a day, and if you lose
Whoa.
them, they're gone. There's
Never to
there's
be
no
targeted
like
again.
yeah, there's no restarting a mission or anything like that. So, to me, that
Pretty cool.
I've actually never played any of the Hitman games at all, but the idea of that sounds pretty nice.
Yep, I liked the Siege when they showed it's not always online. You don't have to play against another group of 4 if you don't want to. You can actually play the AI, and they demonstrated that during the Ubisoft one where the team broke in to stop a bomb or whatever and then defend the point for as long as they could. What I love about that game is you can come through at every point. You can come rappelling down the wall, go through the wall if you want to. You got the cameras, everything. It just looks freaking cool all the way around on that one. And of course the Division looks
Yeah, the
freaking
Division. We've been talking about that for
Yeah.
a year.
Division looks so gritty, like
Yes.
the way that they do the. I mean, it looks almost like a documentary style camera work and stuff. It just looks
Yep.
incredible.
And they this time they showed off I think it's the Dark Zone or whatever in the middle of New York, which is all free for all. It is just a complete open. I could turn on you guys even if I was in your team. But
Whoa.
there's great
You probably
loot.
would.
No, Matt, you would.
No, it's not.
Matt, a long time ago in a game we played, you shot somebody in the face. So yes,
and then,
you're
then
the
shot
evil
their
one.
horse.
Listen,
Yeah, and then shot their horse.
I
Or shot
was-
the
That
horse
game
out
is
the-
actually voted. It was on the list of the voting for the #1 game to be ported over to.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm
I
okay
didn't
with that.
shoot
Red
you
Dead's
guys.
awesome.
I was cleaning my gun and it went off.
Okay.
Okay.
Multiple
As I was
times.
aiming at your face,
Right.
I was cleaning the
You
gun.
just happened to be sitting next to
looking
me.
down the sides.
Right.
No, so that the area supposedly has a good selection of loot that is better than what you'll find in the regular world. So that's why it's enticing to go into the area. And like they showed a group of them go in, they fought some baddies, took them down. They saw another group of elite baddies. They didn't want to fight those guys. Another couple other guys walked in. They helped them out. And they're like, okay. And then they moved on to the extraction point, and then they all turned on each other and killed each other, which was kind of cool. And then looted each other in that area because it's a complete free for all in that zone. But again, it's just one zone inside New York. All the rest of it is outside. There's multiplayer parts marked on the map, but it's like a modern day MMO a little bit, where everybody's just wandering around doing their stuff. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, there was. Oh God, that's awesome.
Did you guys see the Firewatch?
Firewatch.
Firewatch. It was you're like a fireman out in the woods, and you have like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, the one that he keeps
Yes!
walking back, and it had like
Yeah.
a mystery type of
Oh, yeah.
feel to
Yeah.
it.
Isn't that the one
Yeah.
at the end where he's like, I'm not in my tower?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
she's
that's
talking
it.
to him in the
That's
tower.
it.
Where are you in the tower?
That
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's cool.
That was
That's
kinda
PS4 and PC, I think.
Yeah.
So it'll
Yeah,
be,
it
I'm
had,
sure that'll be.
It had
That
Team
did look
Fortress kind of art style to it,
Yep.
sort of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
cartoony.
Yeah.
It looks more like, I don't know, maybe they're trying to do some kind of survival with a little bit of story and some creepiness to it. I don't know. It looks interesting. It looks like it'd be kind of cool. I'm trying to think of something else. Another one that was shown. I mainly just watched the press conferences. I didn't watch really anything after that because most of the stuff gets announced at the press conferences. They don't show a ton more of the games. I know Gears, they only had that one video and that was it. And then every interview the guy had, it was like, I can't tell you anything else. That's it. That's
It's like I don't even know if this is going to run right.
Yeah,
so
yes.
here's-
He's like, it actually did
Yeah,
when it demoed. Like Uncharted when it demoed, no, it
Yeah.
didn't run correctly.
Yeah,
Well,
crashed
the first time, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all on demos.
But that's okay because after they got it playing correctly, it
was-
was Uncharted and it was amazing.
And Matt wet himself, so
Yes, I did.
it's a penny dropper.
Wow.
I wasn't wearing any, so but yeah. So this was a great E3, one of the better ones that I've watched in a long time, and we've got Comic-Con coming up next week, the end of next week. So we'll be talking about that in a couple of weeks too. But there's just all kinds of goodness in the summer. We love it. But yeah, so let's move on to our next thing we want to talk about. So this week saw the release, or I guess last week, because this is and that's the thing. I don't know if I mentioned this is on Monday night. We're recording this on Monday, June 29th. But we're actually all the regular shows will be on Sunday nights. So we'll be talking about the week prior to that. But last week saw the release of several games, but two of the big ones that we've been playing are Batman Arkham Knight and some other game called Final Fantasy Heavensward, which I know it actually looks really good. But I wanted to talk about Arkham Knight first because this was a highly anticipated game. I freaking love these games. And I was so excited for Arkham Knight, and I mentioned before, we're all PC gamers, so obviously I pre-ordered it for the PC. And maybe shouldn't have done that because it doesn't really. Yeah, well, I mean, actually, my experience was okay, but there was reports of all kinds of just nastiness.
Badness.
Yeah. And I've got let me show a video here. And it doesn't appear. Good old live shows don't work. Oh my god! Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves.
Everyone's talking about, so yeah, E3 happened,
yeah,
right?
that was oh, look at that. Anyway, so this is not a video that I captured. But this is video of somebody else trying to play, and the video is jerky, but that is not our stream or your connection. That is apparently how it looks to this person.
Yours wasn't that bad.
No, mine wasn't anything like this at all, and I have a mid-range machine, so they were talking about how Rocksteady came out and admitted that this wasn't great, and here are the updated specs for your PC, and supposedly you need all this high-end stuff. I've got a mid-range machine and didn't experience any of these like all that blocky black stuff you're seeing. I mean, I didn't have this problem at all, but it was a little bit glitchy and it was a little bit jerky. Let me.
That is awful looking.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
God.
Well, it was bad enough they pulled it from the store, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They didn't let it run. They had it out Tuesday, and that was it.
Yeah.
Pulled it from the PC. Said sorry.
So this was my play, and I mean, you can see I'm not having any video problems, but it does lag a little bit. So the constant problems were kind of taking me out of the game a little bit, so I actually went and bought the PS4 version, and I'm happy I did because. But
you can do the return on Steam for the other one, right?
No,
No,
not
he played
anymore.
over 2 hours.
Mhm.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And I didn't know
It's
that.
broken, and they won't let you return it. That's some shady crap.
That is
right
crazy.
there.
If they pulled it, dude, there may be.
They know their product's broken.
Supposedly they're going to patch it.
Well,
and
that's
it'll fix
fine, but I mean, even EA knows when they break a game, they give you like 3 new ones or 3
Did you
other
see
games.
the little disclaimer at the bottom when you bought it? It said Batman early access.
Right. That's actually what this
It
felt
was a
like.
greenlit game. It was a
Right.
greenlit game.
This felt like an early access game. So I've got 2 copies of Arkham Knight, I guess. But the PS4 version is phenomenal, and the game is fantastic. And Dan, I think you own the first 3, right? And you've never played.
I do, and I've never touched any of them. So I had questions about this so-called Batman.
Does this video not make you want to just jump right on? And again, this is the video.
But you're terrible at driving the Batmobile.
You know what? It's
You're
harder than it looks.
terrible.
Shut your mouth.
He
How
didn't
are you?
flip it. He
Yeah,
didn't flip
actually,
it.
I have.
That's
But there's a button you can unflip it.
Okay, Matt has a long history of driving vehicles in games and going back to H1Z1.
Oh my gosh.
And then
We won't ride
and
with
then
that.
Grand Theft Auto 5. He's not the greatest at driving either.
Whatever.
I think it looks great. So my questions are, number 1, is it open world, go anywhere, do whatever you want? Or is it storyline based, you have to go, even though, is it pseudo open world where it's like, I can go anywhere, but the game makes me go here?
It's not true open world, do anything like Grand Theft Auto. But let me switch over
To me, it looked like you have a mission, but you can go anywhere you want, but there's nothing to do until you come back to where you got to do the mission.
Well, so you can go do anything you want to. There's a main storyline, and then there's about probably 6 or 8 different other side missions you can do.
Right. So I'm watching your video on the stream, and you pretty much have destroyed Gotham. I haven't seen you chase somebody through the streets and caught up to him like once, and then he finally kills him after knocking out 13 buildings. But that was excellent, man. Anyways, but yeah, it's like, so it's not open world. If you have a mission, it's set to go there. You can get there anywhere you want, but there's nothing really there to do.
Well, yeah. So there's all these different little side missions, and and they all have different stages. So you can go, like, I had to stop trying to play this PS4 video, and it's not working. So we'll have to work this week. But like, so I had, one of the side missions was I had to stop Two-Face from robbing a bank. And so I went, and that was a side mission. I did that, but then I had to go. But then his goons were robbing another bank, so then that was the next phase of that side quest. I had to go stop another robbery and then another robbery. So all the side missions, it's not just one. Like they all have their smaller stories. Yeah, and that's pretty great. So you can pretty much pick. And if you're driving around the city or you're swinging around or whatever, there's random goons on the street, and you can just jump down and beat the hell out of them too. So I mean, it's.
Did you? Well, the combat looks fine. It looks like Batman.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where Shadows of Mordor took its combat from. Was from.
Well, that's where a lot of games have. Like, there was some Spider-Man games that have done this, but
well, yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 you can even throw in there that has that kind of multi-targeted fighting system.
And yeah, God of War, same thing like that.
Yeah, but
Batman, I think, does it really well because there's so many combos. Yeah.
But the awesome thing about this game is the story. The story in this, I mean, the gameplay obviously is great. All the Arkham games are great, but the story of this is insane.
In the Batman mythos, where does this game land in the comic books? Or does it even exist?
It's its own thing.
Yeah, the Joker's dead.
Fair
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, sorry.
Spoiler: Batman's villain counterpart is the Joker.
I was watching Matt when he first put it in, and it zooms out of the Joker's face, and he's laying on an incinerator, like for
Yeah.
bodies or whatever. And Matt's like standing there, and the game has started, and you actually have to light the
Yeah,
incinerator.
you have to press the button to
instead of-
light it. I'm
and he's
like,
like,
is
oh
something gonna happen, or-
okay, I guess I have to start the game.
But there were some moments that Matt jumped on Twitch.
There were. There was.
young
Yeah.
lady.
Well, you know what? That's
And one of them had, I thought, the Joker in the scene.
yeah.
And a little bit of
So the
peeking.
Joker's not dead, but
He
he is dead.
he is dead. Well, so that's actually what's great about this. And
It's zombie Joker.
This isn't really a spoiler because it's part of the story. But Batman gets exposed to the Scarecrow's fear toxin, and I guess we'll spoil it. So yeah, so apparently the Joker, I don't remember the end. I finished Arkham City, but I don't remember the end. But he killed Joker at the end. I don't know if it was accidentally or not. I finished it, but I can't remember. But when he got exposed to the Scarecrow's fear toxin, it's like the Joker. It's like he's almost got a split personality now, and he sees the Joker sometimes. So you'll be walking out of a door of a room, and there's the Joker just sitting there. And he's like, hey, how come you never asked Catwoman out? She's hot, or something like that. And you'll get in the car and you'll go do something else. And then 10 minutes later, you'll walk inside a door and there's Joker sitting over there. So Batman is sort of going crazy because he's seeing the Joker everywhere. But the great thing about the story is it's almost like a sort of a fun buddy cop movie. Where you've got
He's a Joker and he's serious. We put them together in Gotham. Right. Let's see what happens.
You've got Batman as Danny Glover by the book, and then you've got Joker as Mel Gibson who just wants to shoot everybody, and it's like Batman is just having to put up with the Joker, and Joker's like, oh, I'm gonna make you kill somebody before the end of the night, ha ha, it'll be fun. So that's what's great about this is the sort of the interaction between those two, because they're arch villains, but really there's a deeper history there even
They're
in the
actually
books.
best buddies.
They kind of
That's
Joker
great.
does sort of I don't know, but the story is great, and the Arkham Knight, the villain, he's new to the game, and we don't know I don't know who he is yet. I think we're going to get there, but he's obviously somebody who knows Batman, because throughout the game there's references like, be careful, don't shoot Batman on the bat symbol because that's where his armor is the thickest. Be sure to shoot him where the plates of his armor meet because that's where it's the weakest. So he knows Batman's fighting style and all his tricks, so we're going to find out who that is. But
my main concern is Alfred still a butthole in the game? Because it seems like you have a lot of arguments with him as you're playing the game.
You do argue with
You do.
Alfred a
As a
lot.
matter of fact, Alfred's an older man, and you treat him like crap.
Well,
That's
you know,
Batman. I'm gonna throw that out there right
he's
now.
always telling me as Batman to come back to the Batcave to patch up your gunshot wound, or something stupid like that. I mean, really,
yeah.
You're like, Alfred, I'm Batman, damn it. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'll take a bullet. It's cool.
Right. But yeah, so Arkham Knight, they are, the PC version, they are making patches. They already released one patch on Steam, but I don't think that did a whole lot. That was for some smaller things, but they are going to release a patch. But in the meantime, pick up the console version. It is fantastic.
Don't ever tell me what to do.
Absolutely fantastic. For me, probably game of the year so far. So far. Just so far. It's only June, so far.
That's pretty impressive. Well, yeah, it is only June. You still got all of the fall.
Right,
to
right.
get through.
It's way better than Final
You can
Fantasy.
shut your mouth
Did we
right
even talk
now.
about Star Wars Battlefronts in the E3 or not?
We didn't.
No.
No.
Well, you-
But
But
that
it
was
looks
that
cool.
was another thing that happened at E3.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for remembering that now, OB.
Mhm.
Jeez.
Idiot.
Didn't did Xbox show that? Right? That was at the Xbox conference, I think.
It was at the end of E3. It was at the end of E3. So E3's press conference was
You mean EA's press
yeah,
conference?
not E3. Yeah,
They,
EA.
they kept putting it at the end. Stay tuned. Star Wars is coming. Okay, fair enough. You brought this up. This is a good point to hit this. EA, I think they are drinking their own Kool-Aid. Those people are just out in the middle of nowhere. It's like you have the biggest franchise right now, and you could do so much with it. And all you do is you show a tablet or phone-based game, whatever, early or halfway through, and then you show one video from Battlefronts at the end, and then you go on and on and on about games nobody cares about, except for the sports section, and people do care about those. I mean, we know Opie likes to play Quidditch soccer.
Right.
And so
Madden.
that's fine. That's what they're known for. They're known for their sports game. But you have one of the biggest freaking franchises ever, and you're just sitting on it at your that should have been Star Wars all the way through. Just, we love Star Wars. We can't wait to do all this stuff with Star Wars. Check out our Star Wars. We're Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then, and they didn't do jack. except for
Instead,
right
it's
there.
just a battlefield
Right. But
front Call
at
of Duty
the end,
game.
when they showed the Star Wars Battlefronts, it looked really good. It looked beautiful. The gameplay looked awesome. It looked like the battle was big. It looked like you were moving from between. There were people moving between vehicle to vehicle. They had the heroes in there. It looked really, really good. I thought it looked really awesome. So I'm not disappointed with that, but I'm just annoyed with EA in general. You don't even know what you have, and you're not even spending time on what you have. That's just dumb to me.
Well, and I did like their conference because it's like, hey, let's talk for a half hour with Pele. Star Wars is coming, so don't go anywhere. We're gonna talk to Pele, but I promise you, Star Wars is coming.
I don't mind that, because if there's any soccer player anybody should know, it's Pele.
Well,
but,
yeah, and that was just an example. But the whole show was like that. We're gonna show you Just Dance 27, but I promise you.
That's right.
Just Dance 27.
It was so
Star
bad.
Wars is
You
coming.
always have those awkward moments in the press conferences. They had like some hip hop rapper singer come out during Ubisofts, and I'm just like, wow, none of these guys in the audience care anything about what this guy is singing on
right.
stage at all.
Just
And
show
you
me
brought
game.
them out here.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Just show us the game. Or the character that plays the president in The Siege, she is an actress, and I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she comes out and she doesn't know anything about the game. She just did some voice acting for it, and they're making this whole spiel about it. And it's like, no, bring out the people who really care about this. You're talking to your demographic right now. Don't make it awkward.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to make it fun or whatever.
Did you guys see the Dark Souls 3 statue at E3?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's so they made this huge statue to kind of promote Dark Souls 3, and it's like this guy is slaying this like this mutant dude with like this huge sword, and like the fountain is like black blood squirting up like 10 feet in the air, like a constant stream of blood flying up in the air, and people walk by it and get their pictures taken with it, and
Nice.
it was really, really neat.
Actually, their trailer was really good too. I thought that was pretty good. It wasn't anything, and the funny thing was, when I first saw it and you see the people walking that are all hunchbacked over, I thought Dark Crystal when I saw those characters walking. I'm like, wait, is this a Dark Crystal's video game?
Yeah, I thought the same
And
thing.
it ends up being Dark Souls 3, which people love. There's a huge fan base for that too.
I tried to, and it was so hard that I was just like, it's just ruthless.
I had some friends ask me about playing it too, Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, and they're like, no, it's super easy. I'm like, whatever, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Go play Darkest Dungeon, and you'll find out why you hate video games.
Oh,
and
yes,
everyone around
exactly.
you.
It's the most stressful game ever.
And that game's all about
and stress is one of the main factors of the game when your
Yes.
characters, and it stresses you out.
it is the worst.
It doesn't
And
look
it's a
that
side
hard.
scroller. It's
It
a
is.
side scroller. Worst game ever.
Turn-based side scroller. How hard
It's
could it
not
be?
turn-based. It is a random number generator. You don't know if you're going next.
And Dan
Or you may have
Oh.
one character go, or you have all the other bad guys go multiple
And Dan's
times.
like, yeah, I'm in a dungeon. We're at full health. Oh, I got ambushed. Oh, you get all the first rolls. Okay,
That's
well,
cool.
I'm
Yeah, go
shitted
ahead and do
and
that.
dead.
Sure, why not?
All right, well,
oh, you killed my guys off in the first round? Perfect. I'm out of food already? That seems
Random.
like it's a legit play. Yeah, thanks, game. So,
we'll chew you up and spit you out.
yeah, that's a game.
Speaking of turn-based, XCOM 2 was announced.
I
Yeah.
didn't see that at all either.
Haven't played the first XCOM.
I'm a huge XCOM fan from back in the old DOS days.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, I owned the first one and played it a little while, and then all my guys got killed that I had named and
I feel
personalized.
like I'm smart enough to play XCOM. I played the first one. I've got it on Steam, and I just can't. I'm not a strategy guy. I'm more of just a brawler. Everybody goes in, and you just swing hammers and clap.
That's why.
Clap, a whirlwind, and then I
Yeah.
expect to be healed. But in like XCOM, you have to okay, I'm gonna move this guy here. He's gonna flank this guy. But if he gets a shot on this guy, you got to move this guy over here, and I've only got so many moves. But you can't use this much move because then you got to calculate. But this
That's right. You got to figure out how
There's a
far
lot
you
of
gotta-
numbers and OP's.
And I'm just like, it's like doing homework. Almost playing XCOM. For me. For me.
You would hate like what's the other one? Eternity, Pillars of Eternity,
Pillars
or
of
whatever.
Eternity.
Yeah. You would not like that. It's turn-based.
That's why
dungeon.
Opie just always plays tanks and MMOs and stuff. He can just run in and just
Speaking, segue into a new game. We played Hammerwatch the other night. Give me the paladin. I'm just going to just slash and charge. Charge, slash.
Well, that's pretty much all there is to do. In that, we're going to talk about Hammerwatch here in a bit. But Dan, before that, why don't you wanted to
I just wanted to bring it up.
relay
So,
some thoughts on Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy 14 expansion pack hit Tuesday. I had early access to it, and it is super awesome. If you like MMOs, if you're an MMO fan and you like a good storyline, this is the game for you. It's epic all the way through. They keep extending the storyline off of it. If you are going to play it, you're going to have to finish the story to get to Heavenward, but that's okay because there's enough content in the first part to last you a long, long time to get on to the rest of it. But one of the big things they did with it is no longer DirectX 9, it's DirectX 11. So graphically, it is gorgeous. It is very, very beautiful if you can have your machine push the higher DirectX. One of the prettiest games I've ever played. But yeah, no, I didn't want to say much about it, but I am enjoying it. It's still got a huge fan base, over 4 million subscribers for an MMO, which is super awesome. There's not many that get that high, and the expansion is awesome if you are an MMO fan. Please get out and play it. It is super good.
Well, so is it? Does it make the game a lot different, or does it just add more story, or what is it?
It's just a continuation of what the story was. So your story ends on a very pivotal moment with a lot of things that go down, and I don't want to give it all away, but it's really, really good. Again, Final Fantasy does story really well, no matter what it is, and it's a continuation of that. You're going into a new country from where you are and helping them along with fixing the things that have happened back in the major cities beforehand, and all this espionage stuff with the government and things like that went down. And then you move on to this new area. They have 3 new classes that they've added. That's another thing with Final Fantasy. Of course, if you played any of the originals, it was always just class after class after class. Final Fantasy has tons of classes that you can be. And they've added 3 new ones with the Dark Knight, with the Machinist, and with the Astrologian. So a healer, a DPS, and a tank.
And that's what I was going to ask, if it had more classes and jobs and whatever Final Fantasy has.
Yep. So all brand new jobs, three new jobs, 10 more levels, whole new area, flying mounts. Once you attain them or get to a point where you can fly in the areas, tons of new quests. The story is really epic. It's excellent all the way through.
Can you bring your flying mount back to the original area?
They're not allowing that yet. They'll probably do it later on. Kind of like think of World of Warcraft. When they finally came out with flying mounts, they didn't let you fly in the old world until a lot later. Right. And I think they brought flying mounts out. Wasn't that in Burning Crusade? Which was the first expansion, and they didn't bring it back until Cataclysm is when you could finally fly in the older world.
Yes.
So, it was a couple expansions later that they finally did that. So it's doing the same thing there. The new zones you can fly in once you attune to these aether currents, and once you do that and finish so much of the story and quests in the zones, you can finally fly throughout the zone.
And did you put up a Nerd Punch video? Do you plug a video? Did you have a Let's Play? Did you?
I don't, but I need to. That's a good call.
I thought you did.
I did a second one.
You were streaming. You did stream a little bit, but
I did stream. I streamed about 5 hours on Sunday, I think it was, maybe, or Saturday or something like that. I can't remember. Sometime this weekend, I streamed about 5 hours of it. But it's super fun. If you're into MMOs, you like them, this is a very good one to get. It's super, super cool. It's not like your other MMOs. You have to have some skill. You can't just go in.
Out.
Opie's out. He doesn't want to
face roll a keyboard like you can with a hunter in World of Warcraft.
I play my warrior pretty well.
He does just fine. You can't just sit there in World of Warcraft slap your keyboard and be like, "Did we kill him yet?" Okay,
face roll.
I'll keep hitting the keyboard some more. The fights are way more intricate. Graphically, it's just super gorgeous. It's super pretty. And it's just Final Fantasy. If you play any Final Fantasy, they stick a lot of lore and nostalgia from all the old ones into this. That makes it a whole lot of fun. So if you're an MMO fan, please try it out. I can't say enough about it. They're the only company that brought out a bad game took it completely down, redid the whole thing, and brought it back out because
That's
the fans
true.
wanted it better.
I remember that.
That is
Yeah.
impressive. There's not very many companies that would do that.
So you guys were so disappointed at that first run of it because you played, the first MMO, the first online one. So
It was so funny. We were going to do a podcast about that when it was originally being released, called Level Cap, and we
that's
never
right.
did it because we played the beta, and it was just so awful. It was so bad, and it was nice to come back into it, for them to take it down, bring it back. They get a bunch of bonuses to people who paid money throughout 1.0 and stayed with them until the very end. They had a whole closing video of how the world was changed and everything after that happened, and then brought it back out, improved combat system, better, everything. Just a bunch of really cool stuff, and there's not many companies that would do that. So
Yeah, that does.
Nice.
I remember thinking that was pretty crazy. That it was so bad they took it down, and then they came back. I mean, they did a complete 180, and now it's a fantastic game. I mean, I played it a little bit and really enjoyed it. I mean, they just completely turned it around from the worst thing ever to a really, not the best thing ever, but something really, really, really good.
Yep. No, I'm totally impressed. Like I said, if you love Final Fantasy, you love that stuff. If you're an MMO fan, this is like a perfect combination. So try it out if you want. It's really
and we're showing some of your Twitch broadcasts from when you were playing it, Dan. We will.
I'm famous. I'm
yep.
on the stream.
Yeah, you are twice. So we'll actually clip this out. We'll add this to our YouTube channel so that if you're interested in it, you guys can see watch Dan play it.
Yeah, I'll do some Let's Plays here soon too. Once I hit 60, I've kind of been concentrating on getting to 60. I'm almost there.
This is like a time travel paradox. I'm watching Dan watch himself play a game.
It's like Inception.
Yeah, it's Gameception right now.
Yeah, Gameception.
Space-time continuum.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm actually playing Final Fantasy inside Final Fantasy
What?
while I'm playing Final Fantasy. I know. It's crazy.
It's like when Second Life was a big thing, when people would go into Second Life and then they would create a character in Second Life who would then play Second Life in the game.
Right, yes.
And then my face exploded.
Yeah.
So no, I can't say enough about it. It's awesome. I've been playing it. It's out. It's new. It's cool. Everybody's new to this one. Beforehand when they did the redo, the world and everything was the same for a lot of players. They still had all their level 50s. They now have all new content to play. Like I said, over 4 million people playing it. It's doing really well. They're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, it's got the gold saucer, and if you know what that's from, then you should get this because that's from Final Fantasy VII.
Not to be confused with the gold.
Whoa.
Don't go there. Anyways, so I'm the only one playing, so it's kind of a bad segment. It was just me to brag on this.
Yeah, well, our buddy Tim, that you guys have seen on a few episodes of our Game of Thrones after show, as well as such hits as Nerd Punch streams stuff on Twitch sometimes.
Such hits as Stunt What?
Yeah.
Or Snipers and Stunters.
Stunters versus Snipers in GTA. But yeah, so Tim's been playing it too, and he really likes it.
Yeah, he finally just now got to the expansion, which I'm super happy because the storyline was very, very long to get to the point where you could finally. Funny thing is, if you don't do the story in the first game, you cannot get into Heavensward. So you have to finish that story, and it is pretty long from all the patches and the expansions or the patches off the back end when the first game released. So, but yeah, he loves it too. So it's cool. You should all play, be in there, and I'll shoot stuff for you.
Well. So, speaking of other things you should play, the other night, all of us played, well, actually not all of us, me, Opie, Dan, and Tim played a game called Hammerwatch.
Yep.
So this is a game, it's not new, but we picked it up on Steam. I picked it up when they, during the Steam sale, and I believe Dan and a couple of guys may have had it already, but we were like, let's play something together. It was beer and game night. Let's play something together. Let's play something that we haven't played before. Let's not do GTA or Borderlands or something that we play together. Let's do something that we haven't tried. So we tried out Hammerwatch, and wow. I mean, we were, I wasn't expecting a whole lot because I think when it was on sale, it was like $4 or whatever. But for the money you pay, I mean, it is fantastic. So it's basically a lot like, and I've got a video here, and I'm going to cross my fingers that it's going to work.
Nope.
Oh,
Anybody got any jokes while I'm setting this up?
So E3 having.
Yeah, so E3. Anyway, there's Hammerwatch.
Eve?
There's the Triforce.
Eve?
Yeah. So basically, we've got video of us. This is us playing Hammerwatch right here, and basically it's just a little sort of an 8-bit dungeon crawler. Up to 4 people can play together. And you can pick your class, and it's kind of it's sort of roguelike. Actually, it's not roguelike because it's not randomly generated.
You could say Gauntlet-like if you
Gauntlet, Diablo 3.
Yeah, so it's kind of like those where you just basically you're just wandering through. It's probably more like Gauntlet than Diablo.
Yeah,
because there's no really leveling up. You can level up your abilities, but it's not like you gain levels.
If you look at the top up at the keys, there's a bronze, gold, and silver up there, but there's these shaped things with the 2 next to it in the video right now that's playing. That thing is the lives that is shared between everybody. So once all those are gone and everybody's dead, the game is over. The character's dead, it's gone. You have to start from scratch all over again, which is really cool. So it's just this little fast dungeon crawler. Try to get as far as you can, see how far you can get, and then move on from there. It's pretty neat. I liked it.
Yeah,
I've had it for a while. I haven't played it.
Dude,
it looks good.
It's
we
a lot
played
of
it
fun.
for like 4 hours.
Yeah. So I think I would need to read about it again, but I want to say there's different. There's a level editor, and I want to say that you can actually play levels that people have made, but I might be wrong about that. So don't quote me. But yeah, I mean,
the levels are just to make, and then you just look at them and go, "Oh, that's pretty."
Well,
right.
Yeah, right. Well, so it's a little weird to get started and get everybody in the game. We had a few game crashes, getting everybody in.
Is it buggy?
And not really buggy, just for some reason, the first time you tried to get into, like, say, if I hosted it, I would host every time, and it would just be named D. Hooper's game, whatever my name on Steam. And then they would have to find it in the list. I couldn't mark it as private because then they wouldn't be able to see it, and I couldn't send invites.
Yeah,
I might be able to do that through Steam, which might be something that we should have thought about. I could probably did invites that way. But set up the game, they would jump in, and then right when they would start to log into the game after selecting their character, it would crash, and then they'd all have to start over again. And then they'd finally jump back in with us, and then we'd finally get going on it. But yeah, it's got a few little things like that, but that's fine though. It didn't knock out that much time, even with the crashes. It didn't seem like it was.
Once you got in though, it ran.
I mean, it looks less buggy than Batman.
Yes.
It's a little less buggy than Batman.
And actually, the Batmobile in this one drives way better
Yeah.
than in Batman. So it's way, way better.
And
No,
it's DX11, so that's
right. It is DirectX 11, so graphically it is gorgeous. Look at the spellcasting that Matt's about to do. That's amazing.
It reminds me of Magic a little bit.
Yeah,
little bit, but there's no friendly fire.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
And no,
'Cause I'm the guy with the silver.
Flurgendergen.
I'm the Silver Paladin, and if you'll notice, I slash and charge. That's all I do.
Yeah,
I don't really have
there
to.
he is right there.
Wow.
The guy with the exclamation point on his head, that's me, because I keep jumping in the fight and getting myself killed.
Yep.
But it was fun. Opie played with us for a while. Opie
gosh.
logged off.
Yep.
The game was open, and we had 2 people jump in with me and Matt. And we get to the first boss. We take down the first boss after somebody buys like 30 lives, and we have like 30 lives to go through, which me and Matt are going through super quick.
Oh yeah.
But we ended up killing the boss. We get to the next level, which is like floors 4, 5, 3, 4, and 5. I guess it's like 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, and 5, and then we get all the way through that. Everything's getting harder, but your vendors are selling you better equipment and upgrades to your weapons and things like that, so you can last longer in the game. Your health, armor, all that jazz. We get through that, and we're like, it's like 2 in the morning, and we're like, we need to go to bed. But I'm hosting, and if I kill it, it'll kill the game for everybody. Yeah. So we're like, all right, well, we'll probably wipe on the boss. Well, somebody jumped in and bought us 30 more lives.
Right. Well, and it was funny because even the other the third guy that was there, it was his first time playing it too, and this is at this point it's like 3:30 in the morning. And all 3 of us were like, hey, don't worry about it, dude. We got to go to bed. Don't worry about buying more lives. And so the other guy goes and buys more lives. And
We get to floor 7, which was pretty good. We'd killed 2 bosses. We're up to floor 7. But by that time, we're just like, just die. Waste the lives. Waste the lives. Go. We ended up getting killed there. But we ended up playing it pretty long, and it's pretty fun. I won't deny it. It's a lot of fun to do. It's just one of those pickup game run on a night with your buddies. You know, it's nothing fancy or crazy or anything like that. You're not trying to armor up and, you know, don't go play by yourself because you're going to die and lose everything you earn. So it's no big deal. But it's just a fun pickup game. Just have fun. So.
Yeah, this is so. If you just want just a plain old fun game to play with your buddies, that doesn't break the bank, Hammerwatch is definitely recommended. It was great.
And it's controller friendly, which
Yes,
made
it
a
is.
huge difference.
Nice. Cool.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so control. It's you can switch it over to Xbox 360 controller, and it rules.
And the map layouts are really good in it. I mean, you have to really look for stuff, find
And it's
keys,
hard.
put 'em-
It's not.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not easy.
And the thing about the maps,
you die.
yeah, and the thing about the maps was, you know, we spent a good while. We were like, well, that staircase takes us to floor 2, but there's some other stuff that we have to figure out how to get to, so let's not go there. But you have to go up to floor 2 and then find another staircase, which takes you back to the first level to an area that you couldn't get to before. So once we learned that, it got even better. But we were kind of racking our brains for a while, thinking, how do I get back behind this fence? Not knowing that we had to go through this staircase, which takes us back over here. Then
And everything's shared. So Matt's picking up money and things like that within the game, but that's shared between everyone. So everybody's earning that cash.
So where do you buy lives at?
Vendors from the potion vendors right before the boss fights. There's vendors that sell the specific. They sell the thing for extra lives, so you can pick them up there. But again, you know, it's fine if you're going to play for a little while. But the maps are huge.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and they are. They're not easy for your guy. You really have to take your time. I mean, when we got up to floors 5 and 6 and things like that, we had to keep going back down to 5 to buy more stuff to be able to move further within 6 because the stuff was too difficult to get through.
Yep.
But you start getting silver instead of just bronze on the ground. You start getting gold in like floor 7, floor 8, things like that. So your money earnings become a lot bigger and you can spend more and get more of the better stuff. You know?
Dave right here is in the video is a vendor where you can buy upgrades to attacks, and there's other vendors that sell potions and
Did you guys
upgraded
figure
defense
out
and stuff
the
like
Nova timer or combo? Did you figure out it a little better as you went, or does it
Well,
just
combos
kind of?
happen when you do multi-kills. So your combo will activate once you kill so many targets at once.
Right,
So
that little-
like your charge, if you use that through a line of them, boom, it activates your combo. You start shooting these beams off of you and you can run it around. And if you have the healing one that goes with the combo, you're healing and doing this Nova around you. You become
So that's it.
faster, quicker, and things like that.
Right, because that little
faster,
pink
stronger.
bar below my
Yes.
name would fill up, and that's kind of Diablo-esque. Like with the Paladin, I should have been charging through, got the healing one, so keep healing, keep charging, healing, and activate your combo. So yeah, so the game's pretty fun.
Yep. And that's just the combo vendor. There's a vendor that sells like for your special ability for fan of knives. Like I was the thief, so fan of knives, and then my regular attack. There's an armor vendor. There's potion vendor.
There's a upgraded life and mana vendor. So
exactly. And they get very expensive as you continue to upgrade.
So
but
your character doesn't level up like in Diablo, but you can buy upgrades for weapons and stuff like that.
which I gotta admit, man, even after I had bought, I think every level 2 upgrade, and I had started on level 3s, and the thief still is very squishy. He's fast.
Yeah.
And I can spin around targets and keep moving around them and then get out of there real quick. But man, I feel like my DPS on him was terrible. It
See,
just
in this,
was not good.
we
The wizard
just went
works
to
so-
in the video here.
Yeah.
We just went to floor 2.
It gets a little hairy here,
Yeah.
so
Are you guys running damage meters?
I had a bunch of add-ons going. I was kind of dominating.
listen, I was, the healing. We didn't. Oh, and it's so funny because there's a healer. There is a priest, and Tim actually, before he had got to play the priest, and the priest directly heals you with like a beam of light, and it
Right.
sounds like he's electrocuting you when he heals you. He goes, and so you would have to stand directly in front of him and let him beam you heals.
Right.
It wasn't like a drop heal or anything. 'Cause, like, but it
Later
was-
on that night, the guys would try to heal me and Matt, and we kept stepping like to the side. It was like, stop, move! I got it. He's
Yeah,
trying to heal you. Quick,
right.
Start kind of ADD with games like this.
Oh yeah, but so
At one point, there was a whole room full of worms, and I'm like, "Hold up, hold up and dance. Like, just let me run in. Just let me run in and let me just start killing. It's like, listen, we're going to pull these. I'm trying to pull stuff like strategically line of sight stuff, things like that. Dan's just like, oh,
Must AOE.
Right.
That's right. Look, fan of knives, man. Fan of knives. I got it.
But the thing is, that costs mana. You can only do it like 3 times, and then you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah.
And he's running away. Help me.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But so talking about Hammerwatch. So what we're gonna do, and this is how part of how the show's gonna work is, every week we're gonna play a game. I don't want to say like this because it's not always going to be like a dungeon crawler, but we're going to play a game every week on Steam, and it's not necessarily going to be a multiplayer where we're all playing it together, but it'll be a game that we all have and that we can all play. Yeah, we're gonna. Dave's gonna play Eve. But it's gonna be a game that we can all experience either together like this, or even if it's a single player, something we all that we all own, so that we can then come back and talk about. So each week we'll be talking about a new game, not necessarily new stuff. It might be stuff that's been on Steam for years that's maybe new to us that we've never played before. But we're just gonna talk about it. Maybe we can find some hidden gems just like this one, and we could recommend them to you guys.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Cool.
Right?
Okay.
I'll do it. I'll straight
yeah,
do it. I ain't scared. I'll do whatever.
I'll play games.
I'll play games. I ain't scared of them.
And maybe we can get a little kickback from Steam for promoting their games.
I don't think
For
that's gonna
the whole
happen.
build up for this is for Steam to buy us all computers.
Right.
I don't know if they do that,
That's-
but that's our goal.
That's the end.
Well, they do have their hardware coming out, so
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. We can get big picture on our TVs, and then that works, Dave. I like it. Good call.
But so that's the show. That's our pilot. We actually ran about 10 minutes longer than the maximum length that we wanted to run. Oops. So we're gonna try to bring you a little bit shorter, a little bit more digestible episodes in the future. But this was good. So we hope you guys enjoyed our random silliness of game talk and that kind of stuff. We haven't yet picked out our game for next week. What we're going to do is we're going to try to let you know the game that we're going to play so that maybe you can play along with us and talk to us in the chat. But we'll pick it out in the next couple days. Follow us on Twitter at NerdPunch to know what it is.
Right.
And while you're following us there, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, all of them at or / NerdPunch.
We're also toying with the title for the podcast. We're thinking about Dan is awesome, I think is what everybody's wanting to go with. But we're going to put it out there for you guys if you would like to chime in on that. I think Dan is awesome is a really good name, but we'll see how it goes.
We have to vote on it, though, and I'm pretty sure it's going to lose.
Well, the fans,
4-1.
Matt, the fans, they know what makes the show. I'm just saying.
You might be in the middle square, but I'm in the first square. But yeah, so we will be back next Sunday. What is that? July something.
Something. 5th, right after your big 4th of July here in America.
gonna blow it up.
There goes all of our non-American demographic that we're trying for.
Yeah, we might not be here Sunday. I have to work Sunday night, so that.
Oh my God, we
we
just started
might be
this.
here next
You're
Monday.
a manager.
So,
Yeah,
and I'm a good manager because I do what I expect all my other people to do.
Well,
I lead
you know what? Before
and show them how it's done.
You got to delegate. Do you know how to delegate?
I
You know what?
delegate. I delegate stuff.
You're a
too, but-
good manager, but before tonight, you didn't have this show to do. So
This is the only weekend I have to work because it's just a bad week. But anyways,
we'll find out and we'll tweet about it if we have to push it back because of Dan's stupid.
no,
work
you
schedule.
guys can do it too. We want this to be cycled through all the guys who play for Nerd Punch. So if I'm not here, the rest of the guys can do the show, and
that's not a
Tim
bad
might be
idea. It
available
might
too.
be
So
better.
it's perfectly fine if everybody else wants to run it without me. We want this to be all the guys that are always on the Twitch channel who will be on our YouTube channel when we start streaming games to YouTube. It's a collaborative group of 30-somethings who like to play video games.
Yeah, that's a great point about if you don't know who we are. I mean, Nerd Punch is a conglomerate of guys that just enjoy stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So the 5 you see here is not all of Nerd Punch.
And remember, this show is called Dan is Awesome, so you're going to remember my name, even if I'm not on the show. So it should be okay.
It's really false advertising.
I'll show you false advertising. Wait till after this
Just
show.
wait till
Mr.
get to work tomorrow.
But so we've got a lot of big plans for the show, and we got a lot of ideas to do. We're gonna learn. I'm gonna fix this stupid video glitch that I keep having. We're gonna fix some things up. Things are gonna get better. So we hope you stick around. Leave us some comments in the comments area below, and let us know what you think, or if you have any
Leave
suggestions.
comments in the comments.
Allow
Or-
myself to introduce
Right.
myself.
Or if you have any ideas about stuff you want us to talk about, or games you would recommend for us to play, let us know, and we will do it.
Right.
But I think that's it.
There you go.
So,
Cool.
guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
See
All
ya.
right, see ya.